Today's topic is about the different types of women you may come across in the dating world and how to approach them. I've had my share of experiences with various women while dating. But before we dive into today's discussion, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content. Number one, needy and insecure women. These women often rush into relationships quickly. While it's possible to have a generally positive relationship with them, their insecurity can become frustrating over time. Their possessive nature might lead them to feel jealous of any other women in your life, such as colleagues. They may also get upset if you take too long to respond to their messages or expect you to send long, meaningful replies every time. They tend to overthink and can get jealous if you interact with members of the opposite sex on social media. Needy women might constantly ask for updates on your whereabouts, often demanding selfies, but may not reciprocate the same effort. In the long run, dating them can feel like a burden. Number two, women who cheat. Some of these women may openly admit they are still married or in a relationship while sleeping with you, or you may later discover they are involved with someone else after claiming to be single. The best advice is to avoid dating unavailable women altogether. What makes you think a relationship with her will work, even if you manage to steal her from another man? Additionally, you likely don't know her partner, which could put you at risk of physical harm or legal trouble. The smartest move is to walk away from a woman who cheats, because if she cheats on her partner, she'll likely do the same to you. Number three, women who have a boyfriend but still go on dates. It's clear that when you spend time alone with a woman for drinks or dinner, it's considered a date. However, some women think it's perfectly fine to go out with you alone and don't see it as a date. These women often don't consider it cheating because they're not engaging in physical intimacy like kissing or sex. But think about it. Is it acceptable for a woman in a relationship to allow other men to take her out for expensive dinners and drinks? It's absolutely wrong for a woman in an exclusive relationship to entertain other potential suitors. Such women often wait until they've lined up the best option before dumping their current boyfriend. This behavior shows low integrity, and it's best to avoid dating women like this. Number four, women who recently ended a relationship. Women who have just exited a relationship often have very raw emotions. You might be able to sleep with them a few times, only to find they suddenly vanish without a trace. This typically happens because their emotional connection with their ex is often deeper and more enduring than the one they have with you. As a result, they may waver between you and their ex, as they still feel a sense of longing for their past partner. When dating these women, it's important to be prepared for the possibility of never hearing from them again. You should be willing to let them come and go as they please. If you refrain from over-pursuing them and exhibit enough patience, you may eventually win their affection. Number five, women who haven't moved on from their ex. Some women may have ended their previous relationships years ago but still struggle to move on. Typically, most women who have been broken up for a while would have begun to heal, but that's not the case for these individuals. When dating such a woman, you might find yourself constantly compared to her ex. It may seem like everything you do and every place you take her reminds her of him, and she may frequently bring him up in conversation. This often happens because her ex set a very high standard before their breakup, leading to feelings of rejection and an unhealthy obsession. Since she still has strong feelings for him, it can be difficult for her to fully invest in a new relationship. It's important to establish clear boundaries early on and gently remind her that you're there to enjoy your time together, not to discuss her past. Number six, women who self-sabotage. Everything could be going perfectly with dating this person, and then boom, she becomes someone you totally couldn't recognize. Dating a person who will self-sabotage is usually pretty difficult to detect at first, because most women will only start to reveal their true colors past the 90-day mark. More often than not, you will know that you played your cards right, made no mistakes, were a good boyfriend, and did not over-pursue. Yet, these women will suddenly pull back, flake on dates, leave you on red, and basically ignore you into submission. There is very little you can do except to reach out more often, and before you know it, that would be the beginning of the end. My past experience with such women is that they have outright admitted that they self-sabotaged the relationship because it was too good to be true, and they have past trauma which they have not healed from. Their familiarity with past toxic relationships has made it difficult for them to be in a healthy, stable relationship. There is very little you could do to salvage the situation. The best thing to do is to walk away and see if they return. Number seven, women with daddy issues. These women often have fathers who have taken on a more feminine role in the household, or who have been absent from their lives altogether. One of the questions I like to ask on a first date is about their relationship with their fathers to help identify if they might have these issues. While not all women in this situation are the same, many tend to be more promiscuous and are drawn to older partners as they seek to fill the void left by their fathers. When dating such a woman, it's important not to defend her father, but also to avoid criticizing him. Additionally, don't push for marriage too early, as she may fear becoming like her parents. Above all, avoid labeling her as having daddy issues. If she chooses to be with you and remains in the relationship, it indicates that you stand out positively compared to the other men she has encountered. Number 8, women who are users. These are the women who are social climbers. They will use you to rise financially, or to use you to grow their social status, or use you for something as simple as giving her a lift or fixing something at her home. They typically have no qualms to use your resources and advice to move to the next level. Once they are done with you, they simply move to the next better man that could offer them growth. They will offer you sex and even a relationship, so you would be invested enough to help her reach her goals. However, her goals are constantly a moving target. Initially, she could be wanting you to help her reach a 5-figure monthly income. The next moment, she's already looking for the next man who can buy her a private jet. Such women typically feel empty inside, and only constant validation of bigger material goods can satisfy them. When dealing with such a woman, please understand it is only your turn to have her. She is in for a good time, not a long time. Number 9, flaky women or women who are chronically late. As a general rule, I don't give women a second chance after they've flaked on me. The only time I might reconsider is if they reach out with a sincere apology and a valid explanation for their absence. Women who are consistently late clearly don't respect your time, and when someone disrespects your time, it indicates they don't respect you. Without that respect, love is unlikely to flourish. These women often exhibit an entitled attitude and show little remorse for their tardiness. They seem to believe that other schedules should revolve around their own. Such women may tell you they're on their way, but then cancel or arrive hours late with excuses, like having fallen asleep. It's best to avoid wasting your time on them, as you're clearly not a priority in their life. Number 10, women with toxic best friends or male best friends. If you've dated women with toxic best friends, you may quickly find yourself competing for their attention. At first, these friends might interrupt your dates in an effort to cockblock you. Even if you manage to establish a relationship and gain the trust of her best friend, it's essential to remember that her best friend is her ally, not yours. They are unlikely to support you or have your best interests at heart. When your relationship with your girlfriend hits a rough patch, her best friend will be sent to spy on your social media. If you suspect your girlfriend is cheating, her best friend may conspire with her to deceive you into believing otherwise. Additionally, if her best friend is single, she might feel secretly jealous of your relationship and try to sabotage it. When dating a woman with a close friend, always pay attention to whether your girlfriend has her own opinions and isn't easily swayed by her friend's advice. Number 11, women with borderline personality disorder. These women can be masters of manipulation. If you find yourself in a relationship with one, be prepared to potentially lose your savings, assets, friends, family, and even your life. The toxic traits of women with BPD often become apparent only to their partners, while friends and colleagues may remain unaware. In the early stages of the relationship, she may shower you with sex, gifts, and acts of service, making the intimacy you share feel exhilarating, likely some of the best you've ever experienced. However, once you're emotionally invested, the turmoil begins. You might be confused about why she becomes upset over seemingly trivial matters. One moment, you're her everything, and the next, you're her worst enemy. Her irrational fear of abandonment can make it difficult for you to interact normally with other women, as they may be perceived as threats. Many women with BPD struggle with substance abuse, which can hinder their ability to maintain stable employment. They often bounce from one job to another due to issues with punctuality or, if financially supported by a partner, may remain unemployed. These women may use sex as a weapon and have no reservations about spreading lies on social media about how abusive you are. Their mix of deceit and half-truths can make them very convincing, particularly in a society that tends to protect women. Additionally, they may be highly promiscuous, disappearing for days and returning with fabricated stories despite clear evidence of infidelity. You may find yourself tolerating their negative traits because their positive aspects feel so rewarding. Attempts to leave the relationship can result in threats of self-harm directed at you and your loved ones. For example, she might send you a photo of herself on a roof or with a cut wrist. While these behaviors can be difficult to recognize initially, I've learned that seeing a woman with multiple scars on her wrists and thighs can be a warning sign of PPD. If you're dating someone with this disorder, my advice is simple: run.